My name is Shane McIntyre. I'm the Region 1 Women's Developmental Program Chair, and I run Region 1 for our kids and for our coaches. So if you have any, there's my email up there, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My phone number is in the RMP, and we're going to go back to basics because I felt like that with the introduction of the Excel program, some people are bypassing some of the crucial needs to make their kids have better gymnastics and better skills, safer skills, and so they're bypassing the compulsories and going in, getting to gold, and then coming back into the compulsories, doing their 1 level 4 meet, and then trying to go to optionals. And I've seen a decline in some of our just basic skills that we have. I wrote this as basic skills for all events, and you'll see where I'll go through and you'll see where some things tie into other events that we do. But this is basically going to be basic tumbling and how it correlates to the other events and things that we do every day. So we'll get started. We're going to start with basic tumbling. We're going to have forward movements, forward skills that are static, which are slower, much easier to see. Dynamic, which are going to be faster. Backward static and forward dynamic, and sidewards. Okay. So you see a couple of the pictures here. The one on the far right. This is our demonstrator today. Her name is Mia Nelson. She is a freshman here at San Jose State. And she also, you may recognize her from she learned and taught the compulsory routines for the 2 national seminars in Florida and also out here in Reno a couple years ago. So she's a great demonstrator of that. She's also been our gymnast from her day 1. She's now 18 and started at American Gymnastics Academy when she was age 3. So, full development. So that's our demonstrator today. So we also have some flyers for you guys. If you're local, they have their home dates already down. So if you have information, you want that, we have it for you at the end of the seminar. Okay. Next, forward static. Handstands. This is what we're going to cover. Handstands, rolls, walkovers, and handsprings, all going forward. Handstands are the most important skill that should be taught. And you should do them on every event because they occur on every single event that you do. You're either passing through it or you're holding it, if you're on bars, hopefully. And vault, handsprings, your Chenkos, Suks, they're all going through that handstand position, whether it's sideways, forwards, or backwards. So they have to be a must. They have to be done every day, and they have to be a side station. So you'll see, like, when I'm on vault, I'm gonna have the kids hold a handstand with their stomach up against the wall as a return. The more handstands they do, we're gonna talk a word that we use is called scrunching, and that's where they're extending their shoulders up into their ears. A lot of handstands are done down here, and that's not fully extending. If you're doing anything on bars, this position here has to be used, has to be seen. They're not going to get that strength by always doing some menial dipping or some menial shrugging or push-ups. So handstands are a great way to get that done. We sometimes will put foam in between the younger kids' ears. If you take by the way, if you don't know this already, if you take a block of foam and you take a meat knife, the electric meat knife that every Thanksgiving you break out, well, some of you may break it out, and cut the meat, that makes a great foam cutter. So just a little note there from a gym owner who doesn't have to buy a lot of stuff. So so you can make out of a 6-inch block or an 8-inch block, you can make like 1-inch pieces through that. So that's 6 or 8 pieces you're going to get out of that, and that was really helpful. So we put those in there. Then you take a little piece of the foam in the middle and cut them out, and you can hook them on their ears, and then they can feel that scrunching up through there. So it's just another way. Anyway, lots of little tricks of the trade. So getting that scrunching going, it's going to be crucial on them doing that and learning how to push their shoulders up at the same time of holding their handstands. So this is just a little handstand circuit that we do. These are just panel mats. and you'll see the kids in the back are holding the mat from pushing out. You want the wrist and the forearm right up next to the panel mat. And so when they're doing that, the kids are trying to make corrections through their body, then the mat's not sliding out because it will move. So here we have them, the kids in the back are holding it. You're also going to see it with a springboard, and you're going to see it against the wall. We have 3 different ideas that we're trying to get across to them. So we will show that. Yes, go now. There you go. So you'll see them with their leg. You'll see that first leg set beyond their fingertips or just over their fingertips. And then as they start getting that, this is the springboard. I'm gonna pause this for just a minute if I can. Nope. A springboard is great because if you don't know, the springboard top section sticks out about an inch beyond the bottom frame of the springboard. When they do that and they put their wrists up against the bottom part of it, it forces the weight on the fingertips. And that's where the corrections need to be made. The corrections need to be made on the fingertips and through the fingertips and shoulders. When you're on bars, it's gonna be done through the wrists because your hands aren't gonna be open like that, hopefully. Okay, so that's what's great about the springboard. On this drill here, you'll see we'll do it again. Whoop, back. The one against the wall is important because what they do is, I'm not gonna use that. So what they do is they set the first foot. They touch the first foot, and then the second foot slowly meets them, and then both feet come off. Learn to balance. Their hands are not right up next to the wall. They could have been a little bit closer, but as you can see, it teaches them where to set that first foot. A lot of times you saw on the panel mats, they were able to go almost to a front walkover action. That's a little too far from when they're just picking up. So watch right here. This is one of our favorite ones that we go here, and then pull both feet off the wall. As you can see, the second one struggled with it. The first one's pretty good at it. But that's that's a repetitive action that they can do to get where that handspring or where that handstand needs to be and start. The first foot sets, the second foot meets, and then it freezes. On the wall, they're gonna pull it off because you wanna get the weight on the fingertips, okay? So we're gonna have Mia just show her handstand real quick. Okay, you saw that first leg was a little short, so what she do, she walked back. Now set it where it's supposed to be. Good, up to there, hold nice and tight, push tall, okay? Little tension on them, push down on them, okay? Make sure everything's tight, okay? Thank you. All right, but Mia holds, she has 2 records in our gym. She has the longest handstand for 3.5 minutes. She also has the most bounces on a tumble track. Good body tensioning drill is doing handstand pops in a row. Her number is 78. 78 rebounds in a row. Okay, so just bouncing. Now they move a little bit and they move a little forward and they do that. Okay, but good body tensioning. That's Mia's claim to fame right now. Yep, just moving, bouncing back and forth this way. Right, and the tumble track's a little tighter. Trampolines are a little too soft, and also when you're doing this, it's starting to let yourself turn in a little bit. So let's make sure I like the tumble track because it's a little harder. Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me some examples of the ways that you work on body tension in your lower levels?
Yep, absolutely. I've got a good one for that. I thought about it, and I didn't get it on the video, but since it's here, and we have panel mats, we set up a station. We set up a station where there's a 3-step process where they have a mats that looks like stairs. Okay, so they're going to kick up to the edge of the handstand of the mat, and then drop down to the next one, and then drop down to the next one, and drop down to the floor. It takes about 2 or 3 panel mats in order to get this set up. So we're just going to do the one here, just drop to the edge. Handstand on the edge, and then we'll drop down to the blue floor. I'm going to spot her on it because remember, fingers are a little bit over the top. Just like that. That's a good one. And then hold the handstand and then drop down. So that one was kind of a pop. And then here, drop down, nice and tight. So then theoretically she would be doing that a couple times, like 2 times drop. Don't make the last one that you do, make it lower so that they're going from a bigger drop to a smaller, to a medium drop to a smaller drop, okay? Because that last one, they're gonna be a little fatigued, and you don't wanna make sure that they're not gonna crunch and roll, and if they do, then they can just roll out. But you wanna try to protect that a little bit. And process of trial and error, we found that it was better if the last one was a little lower, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Are you dropping, holding, dropping?
Yes,
holding?
we're doing both. So the first one she did where she just kicked and dropped down, yes. The second one, we're holding it, dropping down, holding it, dropping down.
So they need to be
Eventually,
close.
pardon, relatively close, yeah. So they're like a hand placed like 6 to 8 inches back on each one. So the second one would be here, and then the third one would be here, so they're dropping down that way. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, any more questions? That's a really good one, easy to set up as a return station. Also, the handstand bounces. With the new addition of the new air tracks, you can get those too. Those are great for the rebounding and for the body tensioning as well as the tumble track.
What would you do for
Yes.
what would be the max height you would do that?
I wouldn't go any more than 8 inches.
Okay, that's what I.
Yeah, 6 or 8 inches high. You're not looking for a huge drop off. Especially with inexperienced kids. If you're doing this for your preteen, your hot shots, whatever you want to call them, and they're younger, 6, 7, 8 years old, I would be spotting this. Okay, I would not be having them do that on their own, because inexperience is the first thing that you're going to have a problem with, and we don't want to elbow, wrist, or finger to have a problem for shoulder. Okay, good. Questions? Good. Okay, thank you, Mia. I take that. All right.